Send that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yo, yo, yo! Hollow Knight Nation! Yeah! Hollow Knight Nation! Woohoo! Hey! Woohoo! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Maybe I shouldn't have done all bindings. Oh yeah! Yeah, alright. So today we're playing Hollow Knight All Bindings, Pantheon 4. I'm gonna be fighting against Lost Kin. Really what I'm doing is that I just moved from Aalborg to Aarhus, and it's been a pretty problematic experience, honestly. The people who I've the landlord, I guess, have kind of screwed me over by not setting up their apartment properly. According to the contract, they have 14 days to really finish whatever that needs to be done, like fix everything, renovate, and blah blah blah. Those 14 days have passed as of yesterday, and they still have not done so. And I can't really move in properly because the floors needs to be fixed, and various the kitchen needs to be remade and shit. I'm thinking about also fixing the walls as well. They don't need to do the walls. It's kind of the way this type of apartment works is that you don't really need to paint the walls when you move, and you can leave holes and shit, which means that I can do it as well. It's like a student apartment, so it's not really, it's kind of scuffed, but I don't know, I have the money to do so, based on, I get some money from the previous renters and shit. Anyway, the problem is, they haven't fixed the floors yet. Everything else I can kind of deal with while living there, and occasionally move things around to accommodate any repairman or whatever needs to come. But the floor specifically, I can't really move my shit away from the floor very easily, especially when I have a lot of stuff. This is my, I think, 5th time moving, and every time I move, I've somehow gathered more stuff, which makes sense, you know. I've just been living and gathering things throughout the years, and so I have a lot of things that I need to equip my apartment with that I just can't, because once I do, I need to immediately get them out again once the floor man gets there. But he's not getting here because the people who were supposed to get them there didn't do it. They're just incompetent. And so I'm kind of homeless, in a sense. In order to cope with that, I guess, I'm crashing with some of my friends over the weekend and a bit more. For various reasons. It's been a lot of fun. It's honestly just kind of it's vacation. I don't really need to stay in what would have been my apartment. I can just kind of go wherever I want, which is fun. But yeah, I don't know. It is a bit annoying that I can't get home and set things up properly before I went on this the journey, I guess, vacation to people that I know. But that is why I'm here today. Okay, what's it called, interning for some idiot darn dog. Yeah, I'll be playing today. I used to play this challenge quite a lot until I beat it. It's been a while ago, and I'm already quite disappointed on my performance here. I've taken a lot more damage than I should have. Luckily, it's been against bosses that you can somewhat easily heal against, so I'm not really worried about the full thing. I'm mostly worried about that I haven't been using the right attacks. Look at that, it's my first time using nail arts, which is kind of a must-use when you have no nail damage and shit. Especially against this fight where you often can't get multiple hits in a row at least. Nail arts do wonders. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of already out of conversation topics. It's kind of weird though, because it's been a while since I've recorded any of these, and a lot of things have happened. I guess I could talk about my incompetent landlords more. When I moved into the apartment, I knew it was in really, really bad shape. The previous person who lived there just really didn't clean anything and did a horrible job of maintaining the apartment. And so when I bought it, I was aware that it was going to need some repairs and shit, but I was also promised that these repairs were going to be made before I really had to deal with them ever, right? The 14 days and shit. Which I was completely fine with, because I just waited 14 days before moving in. I had a little overlap between when I got kind of like paying double rent essentially for 15 days, which monetarily a bit of a problem. Like realistically a really good idea though, because anything could happen and like just delay me or some shit. And it did eventually. I had to move a little bit later than I was expecting to, which ended up being kind of a blessing in disguise, because the apartment isn't done anyway, so the longer I lived in my previous apartment, the better, honestly. Ended up not really mattering though, because my landlords, once again, never really fucking fixed the apartment. They did a lot of stuff, and cleaned it, and made a bunch of fixes that were definitely needed, and like, yeah, that they owed me, that they promised me. But they didn't do all of them, which is the problem. Specifically, the kitchen has like a bunch of cupboards and shit, where a bunch of these cupboards was really, really broken and like battered, and there were cracks in them, and there's even like something growing inside of one of them. It was really disgusting, and that all got fixed, except for one of them. They just forgot one of the cupboards that is really disgusting and really broken now. And I like confronted them like, hey, you forgot one, and they're like, no, we didn't. We only hired the ones that we needed to fix, you know. We didn't fix all of them. We only fixed the ones that were broken. And then I like showed them up to my apartment like, you mean you didn't think this one was broken? And they couldn't even keep his face there. They just kind of laughed and was like, all right, yeah, never mind, because it is horrible. It was like really bad. And so yeah, someone's gonna come fix that. But that, of course, it won't happen this week. That happens next week, after the allocated time where they, you know, contractually had to do it. I don't know. It's just annoying. They just really haven't been good at communicating with either me about what needs to be fixed and what they're gonna fix or when, nor the I keep calling them repairmen, like I don't know, handyman or whatever the English word for it is. Like I can really easily understand why the handymen haven't done a proper job, when the people who are telling them what the job is are as horrible at communicating as they are. Because I have multiple times asked about when things are going to be happening and what things are what needs to be fixed and like how they're going to do it, and they always give the most vague, annoying answers. And it's only when I actively like raise my voice and like kind of force them to, I don't know, speak up, and I have to go like kind of be mean about it and angry, then I finally get some answers, and then I can finally start doing shit. But it's just annoying to be this like aggressive. I don't like that kind of confrontation. So I understand why the handymen probably haven't been able to have a full understanding of what their job was, and therefore failing it somewhat. I don't know. A lot of bad communication doesn't bode well for the apartment that I'm gonna live in, and these are my landlords, and these are the people who I have to contact whenever anything is amiss. The good thing is, though, that it's a pretty good apartment other than that, right? Like, once it's been fixed, once everything's set up, and once I live there, I'm sure it's gonna be an absolutely amazing time. It's the rent is reasonable, especially for the area. It's very close to everything that I need, like my university. And oh my god, I'm getting destroyed. I'm risking it. Alright, worth. Very close to my uni, very close to a bunch of stores, very close to my family and friends. It is a great location, and the rent is fair. The apartment size isn't particularly good, but I did say I have a lot more stuff. I really don't have that much stuff, and I don't need a lot of space to be happy. In fact, honestly, the less space just means less for me to clean. So I'm completely content with the size of it. Yeah, it's gonna be a great time once it's finally over with, and when I can actually move in. It just has to happen now. I just have to wait. I can't really do anything. It's not my fault that things have happened it's the way they have. It just sucks for me, really. I've been promised compensation for their fuck up. What exactly I'm going to be compensated with, they refuse to tell me, which tells me that they're not going to compensate me a lot. So I'm going to have to, like, I don't know, do something in order to like twist their arm to get me safe. Currently, my plan is to expect like my rent repaid, because I haven't been able to live in the apartment and they promised me. That is like a minimum that I want. If they're not gonna give me that, I'm gonna like, I don't know, I'm probably gonna rat them out to their boss and saying how incompetent they are, because they are not independent. They work for a bigger organization. They work for it, whose reputation is pretty good all around. So I'm hoping that if I don't know, if I don't go good at what I want, I can like go speak with their manager type shit. As have happened to me when I was working in a store, and it usually kind of worked. Because the manager just doesn't want to deal with it. He'll just give me whatever I want, maybe. I'll see. We'll figure it out. Oh my god. I completely forgot how to do this fight. Oh, what the fuck? Alright. This is the way you do it. Then you run away. You run away. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. It's so fucking shaky. God damn, the screen shake is unexpected. Alright. I think I've got this. Got a lot of lifeblood. Oh! Uh-oh. I kind of missed that. Okay, I think I got this. It's been so long since I played this fight, and it is fucking terrifying, because I only remember that he does double damage and he's super fast, so like any fuck up is really gonna mess with me. Super happy that I got away with it with only one heart lost. Pretty sure it was only one. The shockwaves deal one max of damage, I think. I just started with... Oh, wait. Oh, there's floor here. That's crazy. I can just stand here? That's not even, like, fair, is it? There's so many platforms, too. Damn. This fight is... so... Okay, yeah, I was about to say it's so much easier when there's a floor, and then I immediately take damage. I'm gonna shut my fucking mouth. I remember the first time I played Pantheon 5, no bindings. This was the guy I got, like, died on. I beat everything on the boss up to this guy, I was pretty confident, pretty happy. And then I reached this guy, and I get, like, thoroughly fucking owned. Which was kind of depressing. I ended up trying again and losing again, and it's like 50 minutes or something, or maybe 40 minutes to reach this point. So losing at this guy really fucking hurt my pride, and yeah. Ended up making my entire charm build, like throughout the whole thing, specifically to beat this guy. I just maxed out in spells. Normally when I played the first time I didn't use spells much, I was just a nail guy all the way, because it's the simplest and effective enough strategy to win. But for Markarth, I would just save all my soul to second phase and like shriek him 6 times, and that's how I'd win. You know, with no floor. Like with the floor, this should be a lot easier. Oh wait, I'm kind of fucked here, aren't I? Yeah, that was stupid of me. In a weird corner. Maybe I shouldn't go into this corner. Whoa! Okay. Even with a floor, I'm fucking up against them. Good to know that I'm not... what's it called? Like, not missing out on the true Markarth experience. Got it, what, 4 times? Maybe 5? I don't remember healing. Anyway, landlord situation is pretty ass. Actually moving though, all my things from Aalborg to Aarhus is like normally it's around like a 1.5 hour trip, especially like specifically from my previous apartment to my current apartment. 1.5 hour on a normal car. However, I was gonna move it in like a rental moving car, so like a big one. And the rules for driving those are a bit different. Specifically, you can't go over 80 kilometers an hour on like motorways, because it's too heavy and risky, pretty understandably. Oh fuck. Which kind of meant that it'd be like a 2-hour trip for me, and I had to go back and forth, meaning it'd be an 8-hour, like 4 hours of driving for me that day. Because I rented the car in Aalborg, which where I previously lived, and then I had to move to Aarhus with all my stuff, and then move back to Aalborg and return the car, because I wasn't allowed to return it in Aarhus despite them having an organization in both places. I don't know, it was kind of ass. But that was fine, I figured. 4 hours of driving, like the back and forth, it's not that bad. Especially because I didn't really have any other options. I don't have my own car, and my dad, who I'd previously borrowed a car for moving, was out of the country. He was on vacation, and with his car. So renting a car and having to drive 4 hours, man, that's like reasonable. It's fine. When it came to actually renting the car, though, there was like 2 options. Ended up going with the cheaper one, saving myself 500 kroner for a slightly smaller car with a bit less storage space. I ended up like looking like at all my furniture, and specifically my bed, which is like the biggest one, and calculating that yes, despite this smaller wagon, it is still able to fit everything that I own, right? Specifically my bed could fit in there just barely with like 10 centimeters to spare. But it would fit, and I was content with that. It would be a tight fit, but it would fit, and I save a bit of money, which is good. However, when the day comes and I actually have to pack with all my, I like gather a bunch of friends in Aalborg to help me, we try to move the bed in and find that it doesn't fit. Like, we can barely get it in there with when it's like tilted in a specific way. But then when we actually have to like move everything else in there, it gets really, really troublesome, and we can't orient it in a way that makes sense properly. The way that I calculated that my bed could be, it just doesn't fit. The 10 centimeters of leverage, like extra space, just isn't there. Look, we got scammed. Like, the car was not as big as it was supposed to be, which was a huge problem. Because suddenly I wasn't sure if I could get everything in at one go. After like 2 hours of trying and like attempting different like variations of Tetris, basically, I ended up concluding that if I'm gonna make it at all today, like I have a crew and all who's waiting for me, who are gonna unpack and shit, I need to go now. And with pretty much everything loaded in the trunk, but missing a few crucial things like my my table and chair and like 2 of my monitors, my 2 monitors, I ended up leaving anyway, and knowing like aware that I had to take 2 trips. I would have to go back to Aalborg. Like go from Aalborg to Aarhus, and then back to Aalborg, then to Aarhus, and then back to Aalborg again, which all of that is like 2 hours of driving, culminating around, let me think, like 10 hours of driving basically, which is a crazy thing to realize at 16 in the evening. But I think that it had to happen. I couldn't move any day later, so, and like, we'd already spent too long trying to Tetris everything. It was a pretty depressing ride though. I spent 2 hours driving with a really heavy truck, and just with the noise of all my furniture banging against the walls as I like really shakily sorted them and like put them in there, I could just hear the sound of my money going away as the car, the rental car, got damaged more and more by my furniture at every stop and every speed change. It was pretty depressing, like probably one of the worst 2 hours I had of driving up until that point, because it got worse. When I eventually make it to Aarhus and we unload the things in my trunk, mood got much better because I have some good friends there. We had a fun time, they helped me out, and it was great. We ended up getting something to eat, which was the first time I realized that I hadn't eaten anything at all that day, and I already like woken up very early compared to what I normally do, so to get the car. Generally just a pretty shitty time. We unpack everything and eat something, and I go back to my car and like to continue my journey. I have 2 hours done of driving. Now I have 2 more to go back to Aalborg, 2 more going back to Aarhus, 2 more going back to Aalborg, and then I have to take the train back home anyway. A lot of time. One of my friends ended up joining me on my 4-hour journey to keep me company, which is super kind of him. We ended up listening to some good music and talking about random shit, which is a much greater time than if I would have like or do it alone. Yeah, honestly, a huge amount of time got spent on that. We get my stuff in Aalborg, do some cleaning in the apartment to not leave it in a horrible state. I just like it was called like vacuuming the floor and shit, and taking some of the surfaces of dust and shit. Nothing much really. And then I drive my friend home and prepare for my last trip to park the car. And at that point, we'd already like reached almost midnight, and I had a lot more of my day to go. Actually unloading the stuff, the few things we had from Autobot, like my table, chair, and monitor and shit, and a few boxes, ended up taking quite a long time, as it was just myself, having to take the trip from a car into the building, up the elevator into my apartment, and going back down to get the next thing. It took a while, with the very few amount of things, but still kind of a struggle, late at night. I ended up realizing that at midnight, if I were to take the car back home... Oh fuck, I genuinely forgot he had a second face. If I were to actually take the car back home, like to gather the rest of the things, it would take me an additional 2 hours, maybe like 1 hour and 40 minutes, because I was beginning to drive a bit recklessly, out of, I don't know, dread. But still, once I made it there, it'd be 2 o'clock, and I could finally like park the car and get rid of it, you know, and it's a rental car. It had to be like given back the same day, before like the morning next day. But if I do that, I have no car to get back home with, and the trains don't start until 5 o'clock in the morning. So I have 3 hours of waiting, which kind of left me in an awkward spot. I ended up like just spending 2 to 3 hours in my unfurnished apartment with a lot of boxes everywhere, really dirty and really tired, with nothing in the kitchen to make any food with, and barely a bed to sleep in. I give myself a single hour of a power nap. Maybe I should like pay attention here actually. Hold up. Anyway, it was kind of a dreadful night. I ended up not being able to sleep. Oh wait, fuck. Ah. Ah! I'm playing this to coward. Alright. Ah, that was stupid.
Damn.
Well,
Disappointing.
very disappointing actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you got to say for yourself for your screw up?
Screw up. I think ultimately the root cause of my mistakes here, my failures, is entirely not my own. It's actually the controller. I think is broken and weird. Looks like a pretty cheap controller to me.
Yeah, that might be the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's pretty old.
Yeah, it looks pretty old. You didn't buy this yourself, didn't you? It's probably like a gift for a couple of friends, probably. They probably
yeah,
paid you.
I don't know what fucking ditch they...
Well, like maybe they were a group and one of them was pretty handsome, but whoever they were didn't really buy the proper controller.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, no, the controller's most likely at fault. It's usually at fault in my runs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that excuse.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today, folks. Let's get out and go Pantheon.
I don't know, best we will, I guess. Shit.
I think that's been...
Alright, Ben. Pull that Clash of Clans again.
Put max volume to it.
Okay, sure. Damn, jag slår loot fan.
That's crazy.
Jag ska nog slå loot så.
Anyway, I spend like an hour sleeping in my unfurnished apartment in a like dirty bed. I'm like covered, drenched in sweat from like pretty hard labor. It's been exhausting both physically and mentally. When I finally get some sleep, it's the most blissful, beautiful thing. I have a great night of sleep, but only 1 hour, of course, because I wake up with the realization that I'm not done yet. I can't actually sleep. I can't really allow myself to rest too much because I still have like at least 2 hours of driving left, and then a whole ass train ride back home before I can actually sleep. And I know that the earliest time I can be home is at like 7 in the morning, which is also the same time that I woke up the day before. So after my 1 hour of sleep, I wake up to that realization, and I can't make myself fall asleep again. I don't know, I just can't. I try to get myself some food. The only things I have at that point in my apartment, like a few things that I took with me from the previous apartment, it's a bunch of like shitty, cheap bread, like rough bread, and pesto. An unopened pesto, and without a spoon or a knife to get the pesto, I end up using my fingers, which is pretty disgusting. But I didn't know where I packed my... Well, I kind of knew where I packed all my utensils, and it was not an easy to get spot. And I ended up like getting 2 pieces of bread and cover one of them with pesto. I eat it. It tastes horrible. It's just like shitty bread with pesto. I'm really hungry, but I can't even get myself to enjoy that. When I've eaten that... Oh, I thought I had an...